Here we are for the first outdoor video flight of the Syma X8HG. Conditions aren't ideal. It's dark, it's wet, it's windy, it's also extremely cold, which may affect battery and flight time. But this is the first time in quite a few days the gods have given me some clear weather to at least give it a test flight and film it. This is the quadcopter itself, including the 8 megapixel 1080p camera. And I don't know if you can see, there's a switch on the side here to switch between 720 and 1080p. Okay, the quadcopter itself is turned on the bottom here. A quick tip with this transmitter, it's actually switchable between mode 1 and mode 2. You hold this pitch button to the right when you switch it on to switch between modes. But I'm a mode 2 flyer, so I won't be doing that. Okay, once the transmitter's on, to fully bind it with the altitude hold, and I hope I've got all this in frame, we go up, then all the way down, and she's bound. You can't see the lights too well from the top here. I'll show you underneath. To calibrate the quadcopter, both sticks down to the right until the LEDs stop flashing. Now the headless mode is calibrated when you bind it, so if you want to recalibrate headless, you've got to rebind the quadcopter. The basic switches, this is record and that's photo, down and up. This is 3D flip, which I don't think you'll be doing many with this. This here switches between low and high rates, and if you hold it in, you go into headless mode. There is no return to home feature. So it's bound, it's calibrated. We're going to turn the camera on, and you'll see that the LEDs are flashing while it's recording, so you can always tell whether it's recording or not very easily. Now we're going to leave it on low rates, obviously, to start off. Oh, another feature, you go up and she's ready to fly. If you want to turn the motors off, you hold that down until they turn off, or just turn the transmitter. Actually, we'll test that. How long have you got? Oh, maybe 4 or 5 seconds if you turn the transmitter off. Okay. We're recording, we're in low rates. She takes up quite well for such a heavy machine. You can see the wind and how much it's blowing it around. Now, my hand is off, and I'm just using the quadcopter's altitude hold. We put it into headless mode. I'll bring it back a bit. See, I'm not adjusting the throttle at all. The altitude hold actually works very well. Headless mode, it beeps. Now I can pretty much fly at one-handed. It doesn't have much power to fight the wind in low rates. We're going to turn the headless mode off. We're going to go up in rates. There's the yaw. And there's the pitch. Quite good actually. Slowly bring it down. Remember, if you press that and hold it down all the way, so I think I'm going to recalibrate it, because even with this wind it seems to be drifting a little. Remember, if you hold that down all the way, it will turn the motors off, so be very careful when you're bringing it down. Okay, she's recalibrated in high mode. She's recording still. Motor's armed, off we go. In high rates. And we'll see what we can see. It's actually got more pitch and yaw than I actually expected for such a big camera quad. And it does feel quite effortless. It doesn't feel like it's struggling to carry that camera and all the weight. As you can see, my hand's still off the throttle. We're still using altitude hold. Now, of course, it's a little hard to bring down because you don't want to go full down on the throttle and turn the props off. We'll see how far we can fly her out. Again, my hand's off the throttle, I'm just using altitude hold. And the altitude hold works extremely well. We'll go back into the wind again, just using altitude hold, full pitch. Into the wind, slight movement up and down, but pretty good. Maybe one of the first toy grade quadcopters to actually have an altitude hold that's reliable and works well. What can we see from up here? I hope you can see it. It's a big bugger. We've still got full control from up there. So the range seems pretty good. Start bringing her slowly back down. Which is one of the issues with these altitude hold quadcopters, is bringing them down, bringing them close. The flashing LEDs telling you that it's recording. I'll actually turn the recording off and we'll try and take a picture. We'll take a few pictures. You see how windy it is that it can easily push this around. Recording's back on. Slowly bring it down. And again, hands off throttle, just using the altitude hold to fly it. Even in these windy conditions, the altitude hold works very, very well. You can see it dip down a bit there on full pitch. Bring her up slowly. Let go with the throttle and bring it back down. We'll put it back in headless mode. And that's just one-handed flying. It's quite nimble and fast for such a big, heavy quadcopter. It's very easy to fly. We switch back to low rates. You can see pretty limited pitch. It's still a nice yaw rate. The altitude hold works extremely well. I've been very impressed with it for a toy grade quadcopter. That pretty much I get to the height I want and just let go of the throttle. High rates, you can see the increase in pitch, and it can get moving. Take a few more photos. Turn the recording back on. Actually, I can't see if the recording's come back on or not. No, the LEDs aren't flashing. There we go. And this whole time it's just hovering there without me touching the throttle. So, yeah, is this the first toy grade quadcopter with altitude hold that's actually works and is worth buying? In my opinion, yeah. The altitude hold works extremely well with no glitches or issues. The quad itself is very easy to fly. I would have loved different colour props to be able to tell the orientation better. So yeah, the altitude hold works extremely well. I'm very impressed with it. I'm also impressed with how easy the quadcopter is to fly for such a large quadcopter. How effortlessly it throttles. Let's see what it can do. Shall we try a 3D flip? No, I don't think it'll flip when it's recording, so I'll have to turn the recording off. Or we may have reached LVC. I'm not able to get it to flip at all. Oh well, we'll bring it slowly back. The recording's off, so that's the LVC, which is very long. It's nice to fly. Powerful, it's got decent pitch, it's got good yaw for an aerial quadcopter, and through most of this I haven't had to touch the throttle. It's really retained its height very, very well in the wind. Whoop. Not exactly a great landing, but that's your LVC. Finally. Make sure recording's turned off so that it saves. Camera's still flashing, so anyway, that's the flight time. And that is the first recorded outdoor flight of the Syma X8HG. Very striking looking quadcopter, beautiful glossy red. Plenty of power to carry the camera. In fact, most of the weight, a lot of the weight is in the battery itself. When you take the battery out, which you can see here, the quadcopter seems to weigh about half as much. Battery's quite warm. So first impressions, very good, very good. Nice flyer, very easy to fly. Altitude hold works so much better than I expected. The results from the camera I will show you when I download them and when I get home. Again, we'll run through some basic features of the transmitter. Hold that to the right and turn on to switch between mode 2 and mode 1. This down for record, up for pictures. This is between rates, 2 rates, or hold down to go in headless mode. This is 3D flip, which we didn't manage to get one out of it. Binding is full up, then full down, and then you go to full up and the motors will start spinning. Full down and that'll stop the motors. Flight time seemed pretty good. Altitude hold works extremely well. Very easy and nice to fly, feels very powerful, very smooth, very responsive. So it's only a matter of how good is the video. I haven't balanced the props on this, so it'll be raw video as you see it. And I like it. I like it a lot. Of all I've heard and read about some of the other toy quadcopters and the altitude hold not working very well, this one I've flown it and I barely use the throttle at all. I just use it to get to the height I want, and it pretty much stays there extremely well. So it's a great little quadcopter from Syma, and a very nice aerial platform. A little expensive for a brushed quadcopter, but you're getting a full 1080p camera. And, well, it's Syma, so you know it's well made and parts should be available. But that's it for now. That's the Syma X8HG. I like it a lot. I really do. So that's, yeah, pretty much it. This is Like an Animal signing off, and thanks for watching.